Alright, so I'm going to make a video about this trailer and the solar that I want to put on it. And in order to put solar on there, I need to put rails, or I want to put rails. And I'm filming on my Sony camera A6400. So I don't know how good this is going to be, but we'll try it out. Alright, so there's the top of my trailer. And now I want to put rails or a rack type system on top of there to which I can affix the solar panels. And I was looking at the price of aluminum to use as rails, and aluminum is very expensive. Like for an 8-foot piece of aluminum, they want like 20 bucks. 20 bucks is a lot of money for a piece of aluminum. So I start looking around for things that I have. There's a bunch of old junk I've been working on right there. But I thought I have something that might work for aluminum rails. Let me show you. So I have this old ladder. And I saw a YouTube video by, I think his name is Paul Barger, the Breadtrucker on YouTube, where he made a kind of a rack system out of an old ladder. And so I've had this ladder forever. I don't use it. It's a 32-foot heavy-duty aluminum extension ladder. Obviously it's a little bit buried amongst my scrap junk. But I bought this ladder used years ago to do a job. I painted houses for a long time. And so I needed a ladder to get up to the very peak of this 2-story house. And my 24-foot nice ladder, or it was back in the day anyway, just wouldn't make it. So I found this used ladder, and I bought it, and it was cheap, and it's messed up. It's definitely not very nice. I know it's got a broken rung right there, as well as some other issues. And so it's been sitting out here for a decade, and I haven't used it, and I have no intents on using it. I have no intention to be painting anybody's house that I need to be up 32-foot ladder. If I do anything, I have 16-foot ladder, I've got a 24-foot ladder, and other ladders. So this one it's just not something I really need. So I thought maybe I could use it to create a rack system on my little trailer, and I would still have enough ladder left over to make a rack system for my next trailer, which I would like to get eventually, a 6x10 foot trailer. And this aluminum ladder, you know, these rails are 3 inches. 3 inches tall and nice and thick. So there's the ladder. I'm going to get it out of here. I thought I'd set up a tripod and kind of show me unburying it just for fun. Alright, bye. Alright, so there's the ladder. I was a little concerned for black widow spiders because I know that we got a lot of them around here, but it's kind of cold out, so they wouldn't be moving around too quick. Anyway, there's our ladder. I'm gonna switch over to a different camera for walking and talking because this is just too jittery. All right, so I've switched over to my iPhone XR and my trusty selfie stick. And while I was looking at this, I noticed the praying mantis egg sac right there, so I thought I would relocate it. Try not to destroy it. Put him over here in the bush and hopefully he'll be all right. Well, maybe we'll just throw him in there. That was pretty easy. So there's the trailer with a solar panel on it. And that's how I would like for them to be installed. Let me see if I can get a little taller here. Okay. Now we're tall. So I have room for 3 panels, easily 3 panels. If I stick them out a little bit front and back, I could get 4 panels on there. But I'm really not too concerned even about getting 3 panels. I only have 2 panels. And honestly, with the battery capacity that I currently have, 2 panels is probably more than enough. 1 panel might be enough. All right, so what we have is we've got these panels, and I want them to be able to go on and off fairly quickly. Just a matter of bolts, maybe 4 bolts or something like that. And I'd like them to be able to tilt if I want them to be able to tilt. I'm not sure if I'm too concerned about it. Possibly 2 panels laying flat is more than enough. But if 2 panels laying flat is not enough electricity generation, then I'd want to be able to tilt them. And so if they're in this orientation, climb down here. If they're in this orientation, I would probably have the end of the trailer facing south, and then these be able to tilt up like this, right? So what I want is I want a rail system, like a rail here and a rail here, right? So, and then they're mounted into the trailer via some L brackets. Let me grab those. So here's some brackets. This is all just stuff that I had laying around, metal and whatnot, but you can get these L brackets in a 4-pack at Home Depot for a few bucks, and I thought maybe I'd use a 4-inch bracket like this. And so come over here, so we can mount these, you know, on this, bolt them through into the wood. There's metal framework on this trailer, but there's also wood up in there, and I can bolt through it and go to the wood and make that secure, and then mount my rail to this upper part, and then of course mount the solar panel on top of the rail. And so these brackets are 4 inches and the rail is 3 inches, and that is 1 inch thick, you know, so I'm probably going to end up adding 5 inches or something to the top of this trailer, maybe 6 inches. I'm not too concerned about that, but it will be getting taller. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but it's currently the end of March, and about a week ago I got my solar panels and my Maxoak Bluetti AC50s battery. But anyway, so here we are looking at the inside of the trailer, and these metal or these wooden cross members right here, so they're kind of just a brace for the aluminum roof. And then so these are the structural members, of which there are 4. 1, 2, 3, and then the rear one would be 4. But what I thought I could do is I could beef up this 1x by putting another 1x on top of it. And I could notch around so that it kind of fits up tight in there and make this beefier. You know, it'd be continuous, and it'd be 1.5 inches. This is 3/4 1x, and so another piece of 1x would make it 1.5 inches of wood. And I think we could probably bolt into 1.5 inches of wood, even if we bring a bolt all the way through and put a nut and washer on it. You know what I mean? Now on this side, it's a little sloppier. You can see that this has a very large, and a 1x would actually become broken right there. I mean, it may not be broken on this side, but it would definitely. So on this side, what I thought I could do is I could beef it up. That one's kind of like that, but it's a little bit better. I could do the same thing, put a 1x on there, notch it as necessary, and if it breaks, it breaks. But then I could take some kind of metal strapping, like this is just some metal strapping that I've had laying around here. You know, take some kind of metal or something. You know, I have plenty of sheet kind of metal. Take some metal and just, you know, wrap it with metal and screws and join it together like a Band-Aid with metal, and it'll probably be beefy enough, you know. And again, through bolt it with a nut and a washer. And so these kind of a 4-inch L bracket bolted through, 3-inch rail from the ladder there. So here we are. So if we have a rails that are going parallel with the length of the trailer, do I need to have one that goes across and maybe at the front, and then maybe one in the middle? I mean, really, if I did that, it would be more of a rack system and not just rails. So I don't know about that. I know I have kind of plenty of material, but I'll really have to think about what the 6x10 trailer will require before I go using up all of that ladder on this trailer, because hopefully by next year, I hope to have a bigger trailer. I really do. I mean, I like this trailer, and I don't think I want to sell this trailer, but I definitely want another trailer. I have determined that I think 70 inches will be a good length for my rails. So I need to cut some aluminum. I've got basically 2 choices I can pick from: a jigsaw, which might be safe, or we can go with the angle grinder, which will be loud and maybe a little bit more dangerous. Let's go with the angle grinder. Yeah. I've measured out 70 inches. From the end there, 70 inches. I've made a mark on the top of each side. I then used a framing square to draw a straight line down the side and another line on the bottom. That should keep me nice and straight while I grind it. Alright, so I've got the other camera going. So I'm going to put on my safety protection and get this cut in half, and then we'll talk again. Alright, so now we got the ladder up here. I'm trying to keep it far enough away that you can see what's going on, and yet still see what's going on the camera. So, you know, somebody might ask, well, just put it up like this and put your panel across there. Well, I don't want the panel out here on the edge flapping around like a wing. I don't think this is spaced far enough apart for a 40-inch panel. This being, I think, 16 inches across. So I'm thinking what I want to do is cut them down the center. Cut them all down the center and just leave it for now. Put each rail where I want it on the sides, and then worry about doing some kind of cross members. I think that's probably going to be safest. And if I end up taking out the rungs completely, you know, that's fine too, just to save a pound or less than a pound or something. But that's what I'm going to do. So here's the detail for this bracket. I'm going to, at the lower rib down here, I'm gonna notch this aluminum where the bracket goes, so that can sit up and tight next to the wall of the ladder, and then I want the very top to just rest on the lip that'll be right there. So basically just like you see it. I've got the ladder over here. Now what I want to do is measure side to side for center, and then cut the rungs in half. There you go. One ladder. Chopped into little pieces. Chopped into little pieces. Good pieces though. So here we go with a split ladder rack rail system. I've got 3 brackets. One in the front, one in the middle, one in the rear. 3 on each side should be plenty. But I am short a couple of brackets. I only have 3, so I'd have to go buy another pack to keep working. And I need to figure out if I want to put something in between these rails, in between the rungs, to kind of connect them together, and what that material would be. I don't want to spend any money. I have measured in 10 inches, made a mark, 10 inches from the end, 10 inches from the end, and that's where this bracket's going to go, and one in the center, 35 inches. I made some marks down there. I need to notch this little flange or whatever, this little rib at the edge. I need to notch that. Alright, there's one. You basically go on something like that. Drill another hole here, put a bolt through here and here. That's the plan. Alright, so I need to go to Home Depot and get another pack of this angles, 4-inch angles, and I was noticing, I was trying different ideas about putting in connecting rods, and I found this 2-inch PVC that slides over and fits kind of nice between the rails. And PVC is kind of inexpensive, so maybe I'll entertain the notion of picking up a couple of sticks of 2-inch PVC. Think about that for a minute. But otherwise, this video is done for the day. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And the next video will be working inside the trailer and getting the brackets mounted to the roof with holes drilled, sealant applied, and reinforcement on the inside so that this doesn't just fly away, because we wouldn't want that. All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode.